Today is the one I'm most excited for, and I've got Lewis's contract here, and we're going to dissect it. Can I read it?
Yeah.
Want to keep checking?
Yeah, go on. I hope my national insurance number ain't on there and stuff like that.
Allocate a bonus of £1 million. Mental.
Yeah. Then I'd be caked at the end of the season. Neymar had a clause in his contract that every time he went over to clap the fans after a game, he'd get bonus.
Shut up.
Yeah.
So if you start and win, you get both of these.
Yeah. So
Woof. 10k per goal.
10k is an insult, by the way.
Third, 10.6 mil.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yes, football fans, and welcome to Ball Talk. My name is Noah, and I'm here with footballers Lewis and Ken. This is one of our insight episodes where they tell us everything we want to know about the footballing world. We've done training grounds, we've done team bus, subs bench, holidays. Today is the one I'm most excited for. We're going to talk everything contracts, and I've got Lewis's contract here, and we're going to dissect it. So I'm very excited. Boys, in normal jobs, as you know, you don't talk about pay contracts. It's taboo. You're not allowed to. Do footballers know how much each other earns, what their bonuses are? Is it similar?
You have an idea. Some players might share what they're earning if you're close to them. You know, I knew what a few of my close pals at Palace was earning. But then some players I had no clue. I sort of heard, he's been offered this, he's been offered that, little bonuses, little clauses. So you don't really speak about it, but you do know if you're close to the player.
And do you see it on Sky Sports? Gabriel Jesus is on a 200 grand contract, and then you're like, it's definitely a 200 grand contract, or is that like just made up?
If he's on Sky Sport, I don't know. You'd be surprised. A lot can be just complete waffle.
Really?
Yeah, no, there's been ones I've heard that you just know ain't true, but a lot of the time they're pretty spot on with it these days.
Right, okay.
I think a lot of the time it's the agents that might leak it, maybe get a bit of thingy for it, and then that's how it sort of gets out there.
Why not? Ken, National League, do you know what your boys are on?
Yeah, pay is still a bit taboo in football, but nowhere near as much as a normal workplace. There are players that like to talk about it. It's definitely a subject that gets spoken about a lot more than you'd probably think.
Really?
Yeah, not like outwardly, but like sort of definitely, like Lewis said, between your mates, you probably know what they're on or what they might be on, and people might speculate about other teammates and stuff like that. But yeah, it's to be fair, it's one of the workplaces where you're in the same squad, but not everyone's earning the same. Someone could be earning half someone else and all of that. So that's probably why naturally it gets spoken about more than somewhere else where people might generally be in the same range.
And I was going to say, does it cause any issues? Like if you know you're better than the other striker, and you find out he's on more than you, are you going straight to the manager and going, I need more money?
No, it might be something. When you're negotiating the contract, the agent should know what the highest earners at the club are, the lowest are, and sort of the middle range.
Oh, really?
They should do, yeah. Like if they're a good agent, they probably know.
How would they get that info?
Probably just through, I don't know actually. Probably through other agents. Yeah, other agents, or just knowing certain players.
I guess it all helps each other to get more money, doesn't it?
They might have a few players at the club.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then they'd be like, right, my player's starting every week. He needs to be in the upper bracket of that. So then that's how they'd negotiate it. So I think that's done before the contract signed.
Yeah, that's fair. When I get a new contract, job, whatever, I have no idea what it says, right? And I'm 29 years old. I send it straight to my dad and say, Dad, have a look over this, see if I'm getting mugged off here. Who looks through a footballer's contract? Because I assume that there's some stuff in here that you are also like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I mean, the only two things really I look at my contracts would be the weekly wage, and the year, how many years of the contract is. So whether it's 1, 2, 3 years. You have the agent really that then looks through the boring side of it. I think contracts try and bore you with words. They try and just 5-10 pages about something that could be very simple, just so you might miss little things here and there, or you don't really, like I said, I'm not going to read through all 10 pages. I'll let someone else do that. Yeah.
Have you got agent? Do you read it yourself? Do you send it to family?
Mixture. I'll always send it to my dad.
Yeah.
I'll usually read it at some point, before, just because I like to know what I'm signing.
Yeah.
Just in case. like I've had agents in the past where I've sent it to an agent, sent it to my dad, and then just thought I'll have a read through as well, just in case someone's missed something.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of scanning through because I know I've sent it to my dad, I've sent it to my agent, and I assume anything that, you know, could catch you out, they would have seen.
Who are you trusting more in that situation, agent or dad?
Dad always.
Yeah.
Wow. Personally,
for sure.
Because dad's never gonna. Like you just know he's got.
Yeah, their priority is
100% on your side.
Yeah.
Agents aren't always.
Their priority
true,
can be.
Themselves.
It's a business at the end of the day. Yeah, commission. It's a business. You hear about agents almost guiding players to certain moves that maybe bring in, like, the moves are bigger money, but it's not really best for the player's career.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to get an agent you can trust.
Some agents work with clubs.
Yeah.
So yeah, like obviously it's important to find an agent you can trust, but in general, you can't really go wrong with your dad.
That's a whole other episode, agent,
Yeah,
isn't it? Wow. When it comes to negotiating your contract, is it like all done in a meeting room, face to face? Do you email? Do you call? Do you say, does your agent say, I want this? Are you there? Or is it just one sit down, hash it all out and done?
Yeah, I think like the main points of it, sort of like your weekly wage, your years, maybe some specific clauses or bonuses will get done like over the phone, maybe with the agent, and maybe one or two face-to-face meetings with the agent and generally the sporting director. And then when that's sorted and hashed out, the contract's presented, they'll look through it, and then it might be like a quick, right, can we change this if they're not happy with it? But generally it's all sorted then, and yeah, it gets signed off.
So that last kind of meeting is just a handshake and a signature?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Same with you, Ken?
Yeah, most times when I've sort of actually gone to sign a contract, I'd seen the contract before going there, and it's like, that one's just the final. The negotiations usually done on the phone, like a few back and forths. Like I've gone to meet managers, but that usually wasn't a negotiation. That would be sort of him pitching why he wants to sign you or where he sees you fitting in. And then we'd have like a couple of weeks of back and forths in terms of negotiations and that.
I suppose because, I mean, is it the sporting director or I suppose, or is it just
with us,
sort of
it's
the gaffers
that have the
choosing the budget, I suppose.
Yes, the gaffer's got his budget, and he obviously decides how he uses it. So yeah, it's usually dealing directly with the manager.
And the first instance when you talk to your agent, do you say, I want this amount of money, or does your agent say, like, you need this amount of money? Who starts off the money chat?
The player will tell the agent what he wants, and then the agent will probably tell him what's realistic.
Oh, really? So the agent might say,
not in my position, not as someone in my position, or like someone who's young who was starting out. It wouldn't really be the case. But if you're someone who's a high value, then the player will probably keep trying to push for more and more, saying they want this because they could get it here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Boys, as footballers, do you wear grip socks?
Yeah, I do. I've always wore grip socks when I played, just to stop your foot sliding around in the boot. It makes a big difference compared to when you're wearing the standard long socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, they help massively in like preventing blisters and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I'm a big fan.
I think blisters is a massive thing. I've found that on hard AstroTurf. These have been an absolute godsend. And these are FitKnit grip socks. If you want to get your own, you can use code BT10 for 10% off. Head over there now and grab yourself some. And I think I was going to say, what are those meetings like? Because when you have everyone knows, when you have a job interview or negotiate a contract, it's always a bit weird saying, I want $5,000 more, right?
Yeah.
But if your agent's doing it, surely you're like relaxed. Say, agent, I want $5,000 more. The agent does it, and then you're chilling.
Yeah.
I guess there's no awkwardness in the meetings.
Well, I've never been in a meeting with the sporting director and said I want this. I've just said like to my agent, this is what I'm looking for. Can we get this?
So it's actually quite an easy scenario for you lot.
In the situations I've been in, yeah, but I know I know situations where it's not been easy, and I know players have turned up to the sporting director's house and said not always just about like the details of a contract, but also terminating contracts, allowing them to move, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it can get like nasty.
Yeah.
But not with me.
But is there not guy?
I'm a good guy, yeah.
Is there not so much to negotiate? Because as we said, we've got the contract here, we're going to go through it in a bit. There's a lot of like bonuses and things that I don't even understand from looking at it.
Yeah.
So surely there is so much negotiation. It's not just a normal job, we'll offer you 40k, I'm on 45, we'll give you 42 and a half, done. There's so many bonuses, playing bonuses, non-playing bonuses. It must take ages.
Yeah, a lot of it is standard though. Like,
is it really?
Yeah, so let's say Premier League contract. A lot of the away from the main bits will be standard in terms of bonuses. What you get if you win, what you get if you lose.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So it's almost like I don't really need to look at that.
None of that needs to be touched.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's the whole team. The bonuses are sort of team standardised, even down to the national.
Oh no, the bonuses are. You won't really get individual bonuses per player.
No, the only thing. Well, I don't know about in the Prem, but at our level, you might get like a forward might negotiate a goal bonus or things like that are unique to the player. But win bonuses, all of them stuff are pretty standard. So again, it just comes to your weekly wage and the length of the contract, really, and then.
Any specific clauses you want, like weird clauses you might want in?
Yeah, but other than that, there's not so many things to talk about. Like the contract's long, but like you've seen, but most of it isn't. It's
nonsense.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it's not a negotiation.
Are there any weird clauses?
Yeah,
course, yeah.
There's low. There's the more money that is involved. So higher up you go in the leagues, higher up you go in the Prem, the more weird clauses you get.
Really?
Yeah, there's like I know foreign players that have come over and they want like their families English lessons because they're not English, language lessons to get all paid for and stuff like that.
And that's it. That has to go in the contract.
They can put that in the contract if they want. Yeah, it's obviously the club has to accept it.
Oh,
but
wow.
Say no, but they request.
Is that a main reason? Because we hear when on transfer deadlines, we hear contract negotiations have stalled. Is it because of weird stuff like that, or is it like more money based that you're still negotiating?
I think it's generally money based and year based. Yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't really stall for
English lessons.
English lessons. No, I've the maddest one I've heard. Right, so I don't want to name the person that told me this, but on my coaching course, my UEFA B coaching course, it was through the PFA, so it's all either pro footballers, ex-pro footballers, are on it, or people who are high up in the sport. And there was a person on it who was in PSG's club staff.
Wow,
quite high up, and it was at the time with Messi, Neymar and Mbappe.
Wow.
And he said Neymar had a clause in his contract that every time he went over to clap the fans after a game, he'd get a couple of $100,000 bonus.
Shut up.
Yeah. It was.
Nah.
I swear to God, no word of a lie. I don't want to name the person that told me.
No.
But he said it's because, I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah, okay.
He said it's because they were so concerned with Neymar having that reputation of not being involved with the club and not being that sort of loved by the fans and having that personal relationship with the club and the fans, that they were encouraging him to clap the fans after a game.
That is insane.
And we're talking a couple of $100,000 to do that per game.
Is this why some people call footballers arseholes because of things
Stuff
like
that is just like, I just think
that's rare though.
No, that's
for superstars like Neymar.
Yeah,
well, that's for one person in the world.
Exactly.
Like,
No, yeah.
How many times that season do you think you went over and clapped? We should work out. We should
sore
find out
hands.
the season. Work it out.
I could work. Well, I know the season he was. The person worked at PSG. I know what years he was there, so we could work out
That
how
is
many times he
insane.
clapped.
You just go over, clap.
Not per
walk
clap.
Backwards 10 metres, go back in.
No, it weren't per clap, per game. But
That is insane.
yeah.
Any weird contracts like that in the National League?
Not that I've heard of. Nothing mad like that.
Is it all pretty standard at the
It's
National
pretty
League?
standard. One thing that like clubs like to offer option years, I'd say that's probably the most standard. So like basically, an option year would mean that at some point, let's say you signed a 1-year contract with an option, the club would have an option to trigger an extension of that 1 year. And that option would usually be dependent on how well you did in the season. So let's say you did really well, the club would naturally offer that
Right,
option year. If you didn't, they'd let you go at the end of the year. But that's a tricky one. Players don't really like that one because
really?
Yeah, because obviously it's only in the like. I'd rather sign a 2-year contract than a 1 year and an option.
Because you're basically freelance, aren't you? So that is not secured if it's an option.
Yes, it's not secured, and it's like, okay, let's say I have an injury or have a poor season, then they're like, yeah, off you go. Whereas if I do really well and like clubs higher up want you,
Yeah, it's the
now
security.
it's like,
innit?
we'll sign you. We'll give you that option year. So that's probably one of the most common like clauses that you see.
Because we only really see that in like Premier League with older players, don't we? Like a 32-year-old might get a year.
It's
with
either
the
end, I
option
think.
Of a,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But
Yeah.
that's quite standard.
I wouldn't say it's standard, but most clubs want to offer that to players, especially under the age of 25 and stuff.
I guess that gives them security. If they've not got the budget like Premier League clubs have got.
Yeah, but obviously a player can just say, I don't take the option out. Or like you'd have a situation where to make the option maybe more interesting to a player, the wage would have to go up significantly if you trigger that option.
In the option year?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow, okay.
So things like that get discussed. But I've not heard of anything ridiculously crazy. Really.
No.
Clapping the fans.
Yeah.
You go up to the fans and always you don't get 5k per clap.
No, I mean the contracts are getting mad with the younger they're going now. I think we might have spoke about it on the training ground episode, but where you've got young players who are 9 years old. They're like one of the best 9-year-olds in the country, and the clubs are really trying to get them to sign for their club. And because they're the Man Cities, Arsenals, Chelseas, they've got money to throw at it, and they're offering the child's parents to not work, and we'll just cover whatever they're paying you, we'll pay you, and you don't have to work. Yeah, like, and that's for a 9-year-old kid.
Oh, I'm signing that if I'm the kid's parent now.
But that's what I mean. And then imagine the pressure that the parent then puts on the kid.
Yeah,
and that's where problems start.
That's true.
Yeah.
Pushy parents, that would.
Yeah, well, that's just going to make it like if that kid now gets released, you've got to go back to work as a parent. Like you're fuming.
I don't even think about that. You're fuming.
And they're 9. They might not even like football in 2 years.
Yeah,
it's mad.
It's mad.
That is insane. Weird clauses. We're on to bonuses. I've got your contract here, Lewis.
Yes.
What year from?
2019, I believe.
2019.
Or 2018. I don't know.
Right, we've got basic win/draw bonus Premier League. This is all about if you start, if you're a sub but you don't play.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know, and I think is mental.
What, that you get bonuses for it?
As in bonuses for not playing.
Oh, right, yeah.
So this one is striking me. Draw.
Yeah.
Non-playing substitute.
Yeah.
£1,000 bonus.
Yeah.
You haven't played. Oh, sorry. I'm so shocked. You haven't played.
Yeah, but you've got in the squad.
Yeah.
But right. So this whole thing of like bonuses, right? Surely it's like tipping a waiter or a waitress. They're getting paid anyway to do their job, and I still do it. I'm not saying I'm not tipping people. What's the point in it?
No, I get it. I do get it. I think they just want an incentive for to keep the player pushing themselves to do the best they can. But
then we obviously go up as we go playing substitute and starting lineup.
Because but like you said, they're getting paid the money. They should be doing that anyway. But now the money's already there as on a contract. They need to, they could just chill and relax.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a flawed system, but you do need to. I always think in any job it's good to have a reward for doing better.
Yeah, I get that, and we kind of get up to. Can I say figures?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's exciting. If you win, playing substitute.
Yeah.
4.6k.
Yeah.
If you're in the starting lineup, 4.6k.
Yeah.
Why are they not different? Because surely if I come on at 75 minutes, I'm getting the same as Ken who started the game. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but you could say the first part of the game is really easy, and then I've come on as a sub when it's really hard, and then
that's interesting.
And then I've made a really good. Yeah. I've made a massive impact.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Is it before a certain minute? No.
It doesn't say. It might do when we get into this.
I've seen
this contract is thick.
Yeah.
Ken, National League, do you get non-playing substitute bonuses?
No. No. Well, actually, no. I tell a lie.
You get a bonus for playing, don't you?
Yeah. No, you get bonuses for playing.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
You get we get win bonuses.
Yeah.
Which you would get if you're in the squad, even if you didn't come on with the team won, you would get that bonus. Not for drawing though, or you wouldn't get a bonus just for making the bench.
Yeah.
If we lost, for example.
Like it is. I know it's great, and this is probably lovely for you, but it is mental.
No, it is.
If you draw and you don't play, you get a bonus.
No, yeah, it is mental. But that maybe that's aimed at players who are on the fringe of getting in the squad.
Yeah.
I guess so, because the big boys on big money aren't going to notice that, are they?
No.
So that won't. They're not even going to think about that.
No, yeah.
Wow.
You forget how much clubs earn though. They've got a reward that's almost nothing in terms of what the club's making. In terms of they've got to reward the people that are bringing.
That makes sense, and we'll find out in a minute about club earnings for positional finishes in the Premier League.
Exactly.
And that is then nothing.
Yeah.
So I get it, but you understand why I and probably other people do find that a bit mental.
Yeah, but it's just like the club's earning a lot from, let's say, even if they lose, they earn a lot because of the the stadium that the money's earning.
How many people come?
This has got to, the players have got to be thinking, where's this going?
Yeah, I get that. And if you think about it, if you're in a sales job, you get paid a salary, and then you get paid a bonus if you sell. Yeah. So I do get it.
But then you're not really. That's not technically
non-playing substitute.
Yeah, you're not selling nothing.
Yeah. To do with bonuses, surely, and Ken, I think you're going to give us the info on this. With bonuses, surely a striker has a better contract, because you've told us goal bonuses. I've heard in the industry of clean sheet bonuses. Yours is based on your performance and scoring goals. Clean sheet bonuses is depending on 3 other centre backs and a keeper as well. Surely a striker has a dream contract.
Yeah, but it's not easy to score a goal.
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah, you could argue it's easy.
Oh yeah, you've got 4 people to keep a clean sheet, but only 1 to score a goal.
For you as an individual to score a goal, it's just different, isn't it? In general, strikers in a squad will probably be the higher earners in general, and obviously they have the opportunity to make a goal bonus. But yeah, you could just argue that a clean sheet's hard to keep. That's why you see a team 3-0 up and you see they concede and the goalkeeper's fuming. He's probably thinking, not only did he want to get the clean sheet for his as a stat, but all the bonus is gone and that it's difficult. So
I think they're dying out a bit though. Like the goal bonuses, the clean sheet bonuses. I don't know if they're too relevant in today's contracts.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you hear a lot of goal bonuses in contracts still?
I definitely hear goal bonuses and clean sheet bonuses. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, is it changing in the Prem or something?
I don't know. I think it used to be a lot more common than
really, than what it is now. Because I thought it was.
I agree that it's drifting out though. Yeah. I've spoken to certain managers at different clubs that say we don't do that, because we want to focus on the team.
Yeah, if you're a striker and you're a striker and your job is to score goals, you've got a higher weekly wage
to score goals.
To score goals. So why am I paying you? Yeah, why am I paying you an extra bonus when that weekly wage is for you to score goals?
Yeah, the only issue, the other thing I was going to say is to the bonus is when you're trying to sign a player, you're competing with other clubs. So as much as that argument is 100% correct, a striker will go, well, they've offered me the same wage you're offering me plus a goal bonus. So then you're like, okay, if we really want him, we're just going to have to at least match that.
Yeah.
So that's probably where a lot of it comes from. Players are in demand, and sometimes they're in a powerful position when negotiating.
And do you think it's used sometimes, because we see that Haaland apparently only costs 50 mil, right, which is silly.
Yeah.
Do you then think if they've only paid him 50, if they've only bought him for 50 mil, they can then say, but we'll give you 10k per goal? And he's
10k is an insult, by the way.
Would he get more than that?
He would get more than that. If he was on a goal bonus, it would not be 10k.
Yeah. More than that?
He would get much.
He's scoring
more.
40 goals a season.
Well, that's why I don't know if he'll be on a goal bonus. It might be 10 goals. It might be 10 goals will give you 100k or something, which is 10k.
But probably be more than that.
Yeah.
But what was the question?
I was also going to ask about your contract you've got.
Yeah.
And you are a striker.
Yeah.
Do you have goal bonus on there?
I do, yeah.
Nice.
Is it per goal? Is it over 10 goals, 20 goals?
Per goal in the league, yeah.
Did you have to negotiate that, or did they just say?
That was that one wasn't negotiated.
Okay.
That was.
This is what we're offering.
My agent spoke to them and they said that's what we're offering basically, and that was that.
And do you obviously you think about the game more and you want to score goals to win the game and get more accolades as a personal striker? Does it come into your head when you're playing? I've scored a hat trick. No,
I think after you're like, okay, that's a nice tip, but in the game,
not for my
will to score wouldn't change depending on if I had a £500 goal bonus or a £5 goal bonus. It wouldn't change.
Or Or even coming on as a sub, you're not thinking as you're coming on, right, I've got that bonus now.
No.
It's not even in your head. And if it is, then you won't go far.
Right, okay. But if you don't play and you go home I earned this much.
Yeah, after the fact, I think sometimes you got to, if you didn't play, you've got to sort of to give yourself a reason to be, okay, that day wasn't wasted. Yeah. I've got an extra 5k in the bank.
Nice. But also, there's nothing wrong with after you come off saying, I've got a hat-trick. So
exactly. No, after, if you scored a hat-trick,
it motivates
in the evening, you might look and say, that's on top of the fact that I've scored 3 good goals. I've made some money today. But I'm not on the pitch.
Yeah.
Not thinking I need this money, so I need to score a goal today. Nah.
You two are just so professional, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'll be surprised. I wouldn't know many players that would think like that.
Really?
I need to score so I earn some money today.
I think if you're let's say you're a team in the Champions League and you're a 16, 17-year-old that's made the Champions League squad, that's when you'll be right, because they'll get more if they win. And that sub is going to get the same bonus, as the captain of the club,
and that
for the win bonus. So then they'll be buzzing after the game if they've won.
Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Right? If I get a job in and it's for a certain amount of money and it doesn't take me very long, I'm absolutely sat there after thinking, I've just earned that much money for that.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't think it's a bad thing thinking about it, but you're not going like, I need to score this header so I can get another grand.
Nah, on the pitch, it's like, I need to score.
Yeah.
Because I need to score because we need to win. Because I want to compete with whoever's in the league for top scorer and all of that stuff. Not the goal bonus isn't the one driving.
That's a good point as well. Will you have a bonus for like league's top goal scorer?
Me personally, no. But if you were the top scorer in the league, that guarantees you a far better contract the next season wherever you go.
That's the bonus, isn't it?
That's the bonus.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a really,
lot
really
more
good
than
point.
an individual goal bonus.
And if you two, I really like this question. If you two could, your dream contract, you can choose your bonus. So we've done goal bonuses, we've done clean sheet bonuses. What would be your perfect bonuses? Would it be headers won? Would it be take-ons completed? If it can't be something mental like clapping the crowd, would it be nutmegs? Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you good at, and what would be your dream? Just nutmegging everyone on the pitch. What would be your dream bonus?
For me, like the sensible head-on, I'd probably say something like appearances, because I think being fit is one of the best things you can. Being available to play is one of the best things you can have. So we speak about Arsenal and Jesus. Like if he got a mad bonus for having 30 appearances a season, it might push him more a bit to really work on and stay fit if he wasn't doing that already. Yeah. Maybe something like that. If you reach a certain amount of appearances, it's a big bonus.
I'm not allowing you to choose that.
No,
I want gameplay.
It's a crazy one.
Gameplay.
You want something
like, are you like great at throw on? So if you throw it over 15 metres, you get an extra grand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can head a ball, so I'm winning.
Yeah, but I could go silly. I could go like every time I break a line with a pass.
Yeah. That's if you're good at that.
Yeah, but I'd do that, but then I'd be caked at the end of the season. Mate, I'd be raking it in. No club's going to give me that.
That's exactly what I want to hear.
No, okay, every time I broke a line, just give me 10 grand.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, no, you can't choose 10 grand. I'm giving you 1 grand.
Okay, 1 grand, yeah.
Every time you break a line.
What's yours, Ken?
Oh.
You can't take goals.
Yeah, I know. Every time I make a run in behind.
Yeah, that's a good one, because strikers don't run sometimes.
Some strikers don't want to.
That is a very good point.
Yeah.
But again, these would have to be so low. They'd have to be so low during the game, like so low figures. Otherwise, it's just ridiculous amounts of money.
I'm giving him a grand.
Okay.
This is hypothetical.
Yeah, out of your pocket, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon mine would be slide tackles. I'd just be absolutely munching it on the pitch.
It should be the other way. You get deducted if you slide. I reckon clubs will prefer to do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, but I like
You'll get sent off before you know it.
Sunday League, wet pitch. You want to absolutely crunch someone, don't you? You two might not know. Right. Yeah. The contract signing pictures. You know when we see Ken signed a contract, he's next to Arteta and Edu. That bit of paper, what does it actually say? Because it's not his contract, is it?
No, that bit is probably just some draft or something.
It will have, if it's got words on, it won't be nothing to do with the contract, really.
Have you seen the one that was like, they zoomed in and it was like, this is basically on the sheet of paper, it said this is a draft, it's not a real contract.
Yeah.
And like,
did it really?
Yeah, because they know people can they can zoom in and do all this stuff.
Yeah,
now.
so I think they zoomed in and it literally said, this is a pretend contract.
Yeah.
We're just filling out this page so it looks like there's writing on it. And
that makes sense. Yeah, we should have done it with this because all your info's on it.
Yeah. I should have really got his national insurance number ain't on there and stuff like that.
I've written it down, don't worry.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It always seems a bit silly that they're just sat there with their own contract.
That's gone away now, really, isn't it? That sort of picture. Now it's like unveiling at stadiums or tops.
They still take one, but like the actual pictures they drop are usually all the
stadium with
tops.
Ones.
That makes sense. Famous contracts.
Yeah.
One team in particular.
We know. Yeah.
Terribly run club. Chelsea. Their contracts at the minute are like 7, 8, 9 years. What is the benefit in that for them to begin with? Why would they have contracts that long?
Yeah, I mean, the immediate benefit that comes to mind is just selling on the players. If you've got a player that you're selling on that's got 7 years left on his contract, it's going to go for so much more than if you've got a player that's got half a year left on his contract.
But then would a club even touch them?
Well, that's what I mean.
That's the problem.
It's less appealing for clubs to go and buy.
It's so expensive. Because it's already hard as it is if someone's got 3 years on their contract. That's already tough to buy. Like someone that's got 8 years.
It's insane. And then to me, that it's set the player up for life when they're earning the money that Chelsea players will earn.
Without no guarantees of a return back for Chelsea.
No, and it's subconsciously that makes the player sort of know, right, if everything goes wrong, I'm all right here. Whereas if you've got 1 year left, if everything goes wrong, right, I can't, it's not going wrong. No. I can't allow it to go wrong.
That's a good point. Because if we take Mudryk, when he signed, it was said that it was like a 7-year contract.
Yeah.
He's not done great. I don't think that's out of order to say. No. But he knows he's got 6 years left on his contract. Yeah. Surely he is laughing. I mean, he'll want to play football.
He'll want to do well, but like
the stress is gone. Yeah.
Yes, it's not. He wouldn't want to do well because he needs to earn a living. Yeah. He'd want to do well because he wants to be remembered as a top player. But sometimes if you have that, plus the fact that I've got a year left, and after that, I don't know if my money's going to half or is it going to drop by, like completely drop? Am I even going to find another club? Am I going to be a free agent? Like that is a lot of stress to have. So maybe a player goes that extra 5-10% to make sure the performance is changed. So
it's an outrageous strategy from a club.
We'll see long term if it ever proves to be smart. But like just looking at it, I don't see. I think it just benefits the players, literally, and not much. It benefits the players to an extent. I think it depends on the player because, let's say a Cole Palmer, for example, who signed an 8-year, 9-year deal, that could prove to be costly for him because if Chelsea don't start matching his level, which is he's obviously one of the better players in the Premier League. If Chelsea don't start getting into the Champions League, start challenging for league titles, he'll find himself in 2-3 years stuck at Chelsea competing for top 6. So that could be poor for that kind of player. And that's when it benefits Chelsea because they're like, okay, his values, however much, they can probably sell him for 150 million down the line. So,
but surely the cons outweigh the pros massively.
Yeah, because
I agree. Yeah,
you look at the squad, it's probably only a Cole Palmer that you're looking at in that category. Maybe one or two other players will join that. The rest will probably be players that are just living off that 8-year deal and comfy.
I think what comes into it is having an owner that has the money to splash, and he wants to just bring in these. He's so adamant of bringing in the best players or these really good players that he'll chuck these 8-year contracts at them just to attract the players to the club.
Of course, yeah. But then it has to bite them in the arse at some point.
Yeah, because it's already doing it.
We've
already done
it. I say him again, no offence to him if he's listening. Mudryk, right? Signed for about 80, was it? 85?
88 million.
Something like that. 7-year contract. He's done 2 years.
That's what probably brought him to Chelsea instead of Arsenal as well, by the way.
Yeah, the length of contract.
Exactly, he wanted to go Arsenal, didn't he? So there you go.
But now like he's not doing great. Someone might come in and go, we'll give you 25 mil. Chelsea have now lost 60 mil and have to continue paying him or buy him out. What's the deal with 5 years left on your contract?
What, in terms of, what do you mean?
Well, if someone buys him,
if the club have got like a payment plan of 8 years, they still have to keep paying for him after he's gone, though.
Yeah,
they'll have to pay for that 88 million, whatever they've spread.
They'll pay out his contract. Yeah, there might be something in his contract where it's like, if we sell you with 5 years left on your contract, we have to pay out 3 years of what was left, or something, or a certain percentage of what was left.
Really?
But a lot of the time, they'll pay out the full thing just over a period of time.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Like Mourinho, I think Mourinho's still getting paid for one of his contracts, or like
is he?
At Tottenham or United or something like that. Yeah, or Graham Potter's still getting paid as well.
No way.
For his Chelsea contract.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
So that's contracts I know contracts try and stitch people up.
Yeah.
But you can mince them a bit.
When you're at the top, you're laughing. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of the top, Champions League.
Yeah.
We've got some Champions League stuff in here, haven't we?
Yeah.
In the event that CPFC qualifies for the group stages of the UEFA Champions League, blah, 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 qualification or playoff matches to reach the group stages. So this is group stages.
Yeah.
CPFC will allocate a bonus of £1 million. Mental.
Yeah.
Such UEFA Champions League bonus will be divided amongst the players on a pro rata basis. For the group stages.
I mean, so that figure there is obviously just for the bonuses. The money that the club will be bringing in will be a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So that's just divvied out for the bonuses to the players. Well, maybe staff as well.
So this will be the squad, will it? The
squad,
23-man squad?
Yeah, in the Champions League, yeah.
$1 million.
But that's Palace have never been in the Champions League, I don't think, have they? So that we can pretty much cross that bit out of the contract.
So let's go back to...
But it's crazy. Thing is, with the Champions League as well, so that figure, £1 million for getting into the group stages, that's the bonus spread amongst the players. They get through to the round of 16, that's doubled. The quarterfinals, that's doubled.
4 mil.
Semi-finals doubled. Finals doubled.
16 mil.
So
Jesus.
For when you're a top player and you're earning 100 grand a week, the bonuses for everything else doesn't really, like we spoke about, it doesn't really make a big difference.
When you're in the substitute bonus is not going to,
When you're in the Champions League, that's when the bonuses really have an effect for these world-class players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we said last week in the holidays episode that players do stuff like that, cars, holidays, gifts, is pure bonus money, isn't it?
Well, it could be. Exactly, it can be.
You don't think about it, and then you've got a portion of a meal in your payslip.
There you go.
You got any cup bonuses?
Yeah, we'll get obviously FA Cup's a big one in the lower down. Every time you progress, the club gets however much. Clubs can make a decent amount, and then the players will usually get 10% of that amount spread between the players. So the further you go in the competition, it's the same principle, just we're not talking millions, obviously. It's this probably in the tens of thousands and stuff, but yeah, it's the same principle. The further you go in the FA Cup and FA Trophy as well, you can get some decent bonuses.
When you hear as well, with the top players, they want Champions League football. That's for two reasons. One is because they want to achieve the best in their career and play against the best in the best competition. But two, they want the Champions League money. Really? Yeah, that is definitely in it. Because it's such a big, it's so lucrative. Yeah, that is a big reason when you hear, he's not going to go there. He wants Champions League football. Yeah, he wants Champions League money.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And is that the same? Is that like your FA Cup? Like a national league team getting?
It's different because everyone competes in the FA Cup, right? And it's how far you go is dependent on your team, but everyone gets the same shot at the FA Cup, so it's not the same. I'd say that's probably similar to why you want to play in a higher league, because everything. If you go up a league, the money you can demand, even if you're average in that league, will be probably double the league below if you're on the higher end and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's similar. It's the same reason every player wants to progress their career, because it's just correlated with more money.
But the bonuses are literally a bonus.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a couple of things that have caught my eye whilst I've been flicking through this.
Yes.
Over here, this is wage increases.
Yeah.
Didn't know that was a thing. So it says, can I read it?
Yeah.
I want to keep checking.
Yeah, go on.
£2,000 per week increase after 5, 15 and 20 Premier League starting appearances, or £1,000 per week increase after 5, 15 and 20 EFL Championship starting appearances.
Yes.
So it goes up the more you play.
Yeah.
But that's not an appearance bonus, because that's underneath.
No, yeah, that's not an appearance bonus. That's literally just that's not a bonus. That's just a extra 2,000, like it says, on top of whatever your weekly wage was before. Again, it's probably just to incentivise you to try and get them 5 appearances, to get the 10 and get the 15 appearances. It's
really interesting because there is I hope you don't take offence to this, there's a gap from National League to Premier League.
Obviously.
But everything that is here, apart from the actual sums, is pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the only difference is the sums, and because there's so much more money in the Premier League, there might be more specific bonuses and stuff, for example, Champions League and things like that. Yeah, exactly. But other than that, the principles are pretty much standard across the leagues, I think.
I find that really interesting. I think you think, as fans, we think there's a massive divide.
Yeah.
But it's actually very, very similar.
Yeah.
From your contract to this one.
Yeah, it's just when you hear the outrageous things like we mentioned earlier, when it's nothing to do with playing or football bonuses, it's little weird clauses.
And even that, they're super rare, aren't they?
Yeah, they're rare. But they're,
for the big
or boys. What, the languages you mean? And
some of them are rare, but
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it? Or you might
just makes sense if you're a player, though. Yeah, it does, isn't it? The thing is, players.
Cover the chefs' wages or something like that for their house. Little stuff like that. It might be.
Players know they're in demand, right? Yeah. So if they're negotiating contracts, they're well within their right to say, right, I'm coming from whatever country in Europe. I don't speak English. My family don't speak English. I'm going to have to learn. They're going to have to learn. Put that in there. I don't want to pay for that. I want the money that I'm getting to be at my disposal to do what I want with it. You guys are calling me to come to England and play in England. Can you help me and my family learn English? A club's probably not going to say no to that if they really want to help a player.
And would that go down? Would there ever be a situation where it's Because, as you say, a lot of clubs would do that.
Yeah.
But would they then go, all right, we're going to take £1,000 off your weekly wage then to cover that? Or do they just chuck it on top because it kind of
They'd just say
won't be
no.
that expensive?
If they want to, they'd say no.
Right.
I don't think they'd say we'd give you that, but we'll take.
I think the clubs would cover it regardless, but then the player would just want it in their contract, I suppose. Like
That's probably what it is. Yeah.
You know what does come out of the contract of a pro? Pretty much every at Palace, every pro's contract, the food that you have for breakfast and lunch. You get, I think it was like £75 a week gets deducted from our contract.
Is it?
Yeah. So,
no way.
So that's just for the food, pretty much. And then all the staff, not at the staffs, not at the staff or the scholars. It's just for the pros at the club, basically pay for the food.
I mean, I kind of think that's fair enough.
No, yeah.
But I didn't know that was
so
the food
that's
as well,
the only
so you
thing I
don't
know.
mind it, right?
Yeah, exactly. But we're paying for it, so should be nice.
That makes complete sense. The last thing I want to talk about on here is because I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing appearance bonus
Yeah.
and basic win draw bonus.
Yeah.
So we've got here win, as we've said before, win starting lineup £4,600. I've got here appearance bonus £3,000 for a Premier League start.
Yeah.
So if you start and win, you get both of these.
Yeah. So
woof.
So the performance bonuses, this whole leaflet sheet will be like probably the same for every single pro.
So even Haaland
at Palace.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But then this is more specific to me.
Right. I
think.
see.
So per player. So that if you've got someone who's starting like a Wilfried Zaha or an Eze starting every single week, they probably won't get a £3,000 appearance bonus.
Right.
That's more for me because when I signed this, I was 17, 18.
Yeah.
And they want to give me a.
That makes sense. And then why is there an English Football League start in here?
In case.
It's more than a 1 year contract, isn't it?
In case we get relegated, I think. Yeah.
Got to cover everything.
Yeah.
So if you get relegated, the contracts you don't go through like a whole new process of negotiation.
Not if your contract carries over that time.
No.
But there'll be somewhere in there. There is a deduction. It will be like the standard. I think is like 45%. So if you're earning 10k a week and you get relegated next year, you'll be earning what 55.
5.5.
Yeah, 5,500, 5.5k.
Hefty.
Yeah, that is it's a big cut. But you sign the contract as a Premier League player on Premier League wages. When you go to the Championship, you can't then still have your Premier League wages, can you?
Of course, yeah.
The money coming in is less.
Can you negotiate that fee, or is that like a?
You can negotiate a little bit, yeah, but it's pretty standard around it'll be around that percentage.
45%.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That must be quite rough as well. Not only you've gone from Prem Championship's still quality, of course.
Yeah.
You don't want to get relegated.
Yeah.
To then know we're basically halving your wages.
Yeah.
That's rank.
It is, but that's the standard you're at then. That's the way you've got to look at it. Like you weren't good enough to stay up, whether it's your fault or the team's fault or whoever. That's the way it works.
Yeah, the club can't sustain that either.
No.
I think financially, it can't keep playing. They can't keep having a Premier League budget in the Championship.
Yeah.
The money coming in is just not the same. So it's harsh.
That's why you say fair play to players who get relegated with a team that are the main men and decide to sort of stay with them. I think who did it? Did Ward-Prowse do it for a little bit or not? Or Jamie Vardy's a good example.
Yeah, quite a lot of Leicester players did it.
Yeah, quite a lot of the Leicester players did it. Like Jamie Vardy probably could have nicked a move to a Premier League side.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He stayed there. He's obviously still going to earn good money, but it's split.
Yeah.
It's cut down by 45%.
Do you think he's negotiated anything that meant that he's not cutting it like drastically because he's Vardy?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, and especially if you know your teams have a good chance of getting relegated, you might negotiate it.
Because if you're on, I don't know what Jamie Vardy's on. If he's on 80 grand a week in the Prem, right, hell of a lot of money. That gets cut down to almost half.
Yeah.
Obviously, 40 grand a week is still ridiculous money, but the change,
what he could be earning,
is huge. It's still a change.
Yeah, it's a massive change, and that's why I say fair play to them players that do it. It just shows that it's football first, they're not money first. Because, like you said, they could get a move elsewhere if they wanted to.
Yeah, and flip that round, Championship team, would they have a plus 45% if they get promoted?
I don't know.
Not necessarily 45%,
I don't think so.
But it'd definitely go up.
The wages would go up. You'd say if we get promoted, it'd go up a percentage. I don't think it'd be.
It wouldn't be that massive.
I don't think it'd double. Yeah.
Do you have that? Because you can move up and down, can't you?
Yeah.
So do you have that in yours?
Yeah. And then in mine, there was literally for the subsequent years, like what your pay would be if we went up. I think we were in the national at the time. If we went up to the EFL, it would go up to X amount. It wasn't a percentage. It was literally just a fixed figure.
Okay.
If we got relegated to the National League North, it would it didn't go down, but like it was supposed to increase if we stayed in the National League.
Okay.
If that makes sense, but that increase wouldn't happen if we got relegated.
Yeah.
Things like that. So it's pretty standard. Like clubs, if you're signing more than 1 year, they have to cover what happens if we're not competing in the same league anymore.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you'd just be.
Yeah. And is there a drastic difference in your staying where you are and getting promoted?
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah. Almost double, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you want to get promoted?
Always. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Right. Condition 2. CPFC's position in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Now, there is a lot of numbers here. 1st to 20th for every position in the Premier League, of course. And there is a sum of money, quite a large sum of money, under each position. This is what the club will get paid if they finish the Premier League in that position.
Yeah, I mean, I assume. Listen, I don't really look at these contracts to this side of it, but I assume, that's what the club will get paid if they finish in whatever league position is named.
So, for example, 18th is obviously 0, 19th, 20th the same. 17th, 3.162 mil.
Yeah.
3rd, 10.6 mil.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That is nice. Yeah, it's a big jump.
That is nice. But there's still like, when Brighton suddenly started doing well, and that 2 years ago, they came 5th or something, didn't they? 5th or 6th? They would have collected almost 10 mil for finishing that high up in the Prem. For a club that isn't always on top, that is so much money, no?
Yeah, it's a lot of money. And also with this stuff, this is why the club, I think another misconception is towards the end of the season, if a club's 11th, 12th or 10th, they're not really playing for anything. The players can sometimes think that, but the club could get an extra 2 mil if they jump up 1 or 2 spaces, if they get them last 2 wins of the season.
There's about 700k between each position.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money, for the club. The club are always still playing for stuff when the season's finishing at the back end.
And even if like we said, even if you do come 10th, 11th, 12th, split amongst everyone, you're getting 10k.
Yeah,
at least, I think. I'm not doing the maths, but at least 10k. That's so much money.
Yeah, I mean the bonuses are just a lot, aren't they? But again, 10k is, if you're earning 80k a week, 10k is not going to be too much for a bonus.
That's it. But a academy player that's just come up and might not play much, he's getting all the bench draw bonuses. He's getting a bonus if he comes on. He's getting this 20k if you come 10th.
Yeah.
It can be a lot of money.
Yeah.
And like a lot of this contract is a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, that's sort of like the clauses.
I don't think we need to go through. This, about bonuses, you really see how much footballers can earn and the bonuses they get. And like we've said this whole episode, it's the same in the National League.
Yeah.
Will you be getting league position bonuses?
That's probably... No. That's probably the one that we don't...
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be the same. There's obviously promotion bonuses and stuff like that, but not literally for each league. I'd imagine the club would get some sort of bonus.
Yeah.
But that's not passed down to us, I don't think.
That it is crazy. Again, 20th, 0.
Relegation, you get nothing, do you?
Yeah, makes sense. First, just shy of 12 mil.
Yeah.
For bonuses.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of money.
And it does say here as well, staff members are those included.
Yeah.
So
the staff have played. They play a big part, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
Yeah. So, kitman, chef, masseuse.
Yeah.
They want a piece of that 12 mil, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why you see them cheering on the bench.
Yeah.
You see them going mad when they get wins at the end sometimes. You do. They're thinking about the money, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And it makes a huge difference to them more than the players.
Yeah.
The bonus.
For sure.
I think the less you earn, the more that bonus becomes, significant.
Of course.
Which is why for the academy players or players just coming through, it's huge as well.
Players give like little things out to the staff as well.
Yeah.
I've heard this. I know of a Premier League player that was injured for quite a while, and at Christmas just put 2.5k in about 10 envelopes and gave it out to the physios and masseuses and people that helped him.
Absolutely right, and as they should.
yeah, of course. I mean, if they're getting this and they don't even know about it, I can imagine the kit man putting in the shift of his life, sprinting on to change someone's top to get a piece of 12 mil. Unreal.
It's a good job.
Yeah.
Right, contract's done. If you have any more questions that you want to know, let us know in the comments. Next week, we are going to be talking about everything surrounding footballer fashion, because there are some horror shows out there. Ben White, I'm looking at you. Nice one, guys. See you later.